Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you my easel calendar gift. I have a lovely lady who is a friend of my mum's who had asked me if I could create some sort of desk calendar. Obviously these are fairly easy to obtain from stationery stores or online, anything like that. So I picked some up for 2020. I know it seems such a long way, but it will be here before we know it. And I wanted to create sort of an easel calendar that would be able to fold flat for you to give, and yet obviously would sit upright on someone's desk. So it sort of sits, it's hard to do it at this angle, sits like this so you can see it's at the easel effect. I did use a mixture of products for this, and that was simply because I think I lost my mind. I was convinced that one set of dies went with a certain stamp set, and so I used it, and then when I was coming to look I thought, no, that's not right, and it wasn't, so I've mixed everything up, so I do apologise. But anyway, I'm going to show you how I made this. It is really simple, but I think really effective and really pretty to be able to give to someone that maybe you can only send gifts in the post to. And obviously this folds nice and flat so that you can send them a nice homemade gift that will still look pretty all year round. So let's go ahead and make this one. So to start off with, you will need a piece of cardstock for your base. So this is the cardstock that you will use as your main part of your card, of your calendar. This is just for the front panel where the calendar sits. So you're going to need a basic piece of cardstock that is 6 inches by 4 inches, and that is 15 by 10 centimetres. You then need, I used a layering piece, and this is 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, which will be 14 by 9 centimetres. And you're just going to adhere this as a layer onto your base colour. Oh, that's a bit long. Bear with me 2 seconds. I'm guessing I've cut this at 6. Yes, not 6 3/4. Let me just quickly... I'm sure that wasn't even straight, but we'll run with it. Anyway, as I was, so you stick your layer onto your base, as I was saying, 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then you need your DSP, and this will be 5 1/2 by 3 1/2, which will be 13 by 8 centimetres. Or you can just reduce your centimetres by halves if you wish. So it would be 10 by 5, 9 1/2 by 14 1/2, and then 14 by 9. So that's the basic part for your calendar. I then used the beautiful layer dies with that fabulous pattern piece in that I just realised I completely wrecked putting in there. Try and put that flat again. That's better. So I used the beautiful layers dies, and I cut mine out of crumb cake. Now my die cut didn't work so well. It didn't cut through, but I wasn't bothered because actually that is going to be hidden by the calendar anyway. So I wasn't concerned. So that's going to be stuck on to there. But it kind of curls up and I didn't want that, so I'm just going to grab my bone folder and just very gently encourage it to fold that way. That way it will then lie flat. So I'm just going to pop some snail on the centre and also on those bits there. And then, where's my calendar gone? Oh, it's here. And then my calendar tab is going to sit off to the right there, so I need to stick this roughly around there, and I have gone with making sure these are almost in a straight line to the pattern just to make it easier. Now because this potentially will be ripped off as opposed to just folded over, I thought it needs to be adhered quite firmly, so I've gone with tear and tape on the back of these. Just a couple of strips, one top and one bottom. I hope these go down well and this lady likes these. I think they're really quite good. I might make myself one because I can never remember the day or the date. Where's that gone? And then just take your backing off. It's because I work more now than I did originally. And because I don't have a set pattern of shifts, I just work as and when. I don't have weekends per se. So it therefore means that I never know what day it is or date. I just know what shift I'm working. So there's your calendar popped on. And then what I did do is I got some scrap pear pizzazz, as you can see, it's been used numerous times. And I've just punched out a little leaf just to stick onto here and give it some more. And I'm just simply adding a glue dot just onto the back of that leaf. And then I'm just going to tuck this under the calendar, because if you remember, the tear and tape went top and bottom. I could have stuck this on beforehand, but I'm not sure I'd get it in the right place. And so I literally just stuck a glue dot there. It will help stick this element to the base as well. And it just pops that bit of green out in there as well. So that's it for your calendar piece. Now to make the easel part. So you now need a piece of cardstock that is 6 by 8 inches, and that is 15 by 20 centimetres. And then on the long side you're going to score at 4 inches and 6 inches, which is 10 and 15 centimetres. And then you're simply going to fold and burnish these lines. And then I'm going to run tear and tape over this bottom thin piece here. Again, one at the top and one at the bottom. And then I'm going to flip it over, and on the large piece I'm going to add those exact same layers. I've obviously cut this one right, so I'm going to adhere the coloured cardstock at 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, or 14 centimetres by 9, and then my DSP layer, it is 5 1/2 by 3 1/2, oops, or 13 by 8. And I'm just going to pop that one on as well, so that will sit on there. Flip it back over again now and take the backing off my tear and tape. And then I'm adding my calendar now. So I'm going to first start off by putting it corner to corner, laying the bottom so that it's carefully the same, and then your sides should all fit the same. Flip it over, give that a little push, and then when you bring it back over it will sit just there. And so now we just need the little bit of a stopper here. So I have some Whisper White, and I've actually used High Tide because I really quite like this sentiment. The other one I was looking at was the Free as a Bird sentiment. Your friendship means the world to me. Anything sort of like that, I guess, was quite, because you don't want happy birthday because it's not going to be birthday all year round. You don't want Christmas or anything like that. So I just thought something nice. So I went with High Tide. And I'm just going to stamp this in Night of Navy. So I'm just going to stamp that onto that bottom corner there. Just clean that stamp off. And then what I actually did do was and this is what I said to you about using completely random different stamps, because I thought the die cut off the top there went with Beautiful Promenade, which would have been perfect because the DSP is pressed petals. No, I just mixed it all up completely. But I'm using this lovely little leaf here, and there's quite a few different images you could use, but I went just with this little leaf and some Pear Pizzazz, and I just stamped off and stamped a little leaf just in the corner, just there. I also punched another Pear Pizzazz leaf. I'm just going to pop that there. And then you can either punch or cut this out. I am going to have to use my trimmer, I'm afraid, sorry. I know everybody's cursing me. So I'm just going to trim that down to a nice square. And then I'm going to back that onto some Night of Navy. And any of you that have watched my videos before will know that I do tend to cheat on this one. I don't measure, I just cut the square out, and then I use my nice long scissors just to cut the backing off. Now the irony is that obviously I do measure for these layers, but anything small I never do. So to make this have the easel effect to stand up, you will need to pop some dimensionals on the back, and that will give it the stopper, if you like, to hold it in place. So dimensionals on there. I then want mini dimensionals on my leaf, and I'm going to put them on all of the leaves. There we go. Now take the backing off your sentiment or your phrase or whatever it is you're putting here. You could even just add another, where's my stamp gone? So with the Beautiful Promenade you could just put a flower on here. You don't have to have a sentiment. And I literally, again, now you can either measure this on your grid paper, so I know that I need to be around 3 is my centre mark. So that's where I've aimed that to go, and so your easel will sit nicely. And then my leaves, what I just need to do is trim a tiny bit off the stalk because I don't need that full length there. And then I'm just dropping, oops, take the backing off those leaves, and then I'll just lie that down because otherwise you won't see, and I'm just tucking that just under there, again just really for some added dimension and to tie the leaves in together. And there you have your easel calendar gift. I don't know which one I prefer now. I do like the navy one, I wasn't sure if I would, but I actually think I do quite like it. Navy or Merlot, not sure. I like them both. Hope you like them. Hope it's given you some ideas for a Christmas gift or birthday gift for somebody far away that you can now send flat. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye.